Welcome to Business, where I sit down with local business owners so we can get to know them a little bit better and hear about their business and just get to know how they're contributing to our community. So today, I'm Mike Kersten with Elevate Real Estate Group, and today I'm sitting down with James Norman of Storehouse Financial Group. And welcome, James. And so we just want to start off with getting to know who you are. So if you don't mind, just telling us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, the family, those kinds of things.
Sure, yeah. So I grew up in the Boot Hill in Missouri, and I grew up with my dad farming, and my mother was in financial services banking for years upon years. And, grew up very Southern in that regard and came over here to Springfield, attended Missouri State, met my wife and kind of stuck around. My wife's a local, so, that's how it always goes. But we've been married for 2.5 years now. We have 3 cats, no kids yet, but we're going to get there one of these days. Put down roots here last year, bought a house, and really just, I've fallen in love with the community. I've fallen in love with the area. I love the Ozarks, and coming from the flatland of the Boot Hill, as soon as I saw my first actual hill, I never looked back.
Yeah, it's funny. It is a hill. I've been in Colorado and Alaska and Montana, and we have mountains out there. I know people here call them mountains.
Ozark Mountains.
The Ozark Mountains, yeah, but they're a little different than the Rockies.
A little bit.
Yeah. Great. And obviously, you got the cowboy hat. You have the buckle. Was it Cheyenne Mountain Days?
Yes, sir. Cheyenne Frontier Days.
Yeah, Frontier Days. So did you go out to Cheyenne, Wyoming for that?
Yes, sir. We're big rodeo fans. So back in the Boot Hill, we grew up about 20 minutes from one of the largest rodeos in the state, if not the largest, the Sykeston J.C. Boot Hill Rodeo. I went back just 3 weeks ago, went to it again this year, but wherever we go, we try and hit whatever rodeo we're at. So the Cheyenne buckle came from a vacation in Colorado, where the most fun part of it was for me going up to Wyoming to Cheyenne for the rodeo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fun. The rodeo, I'm new to rodeo, even though I went to high school in Alamogordo, New Mexico, which is a huge ranching community as well. My son is at the UT Martin, University of Tennessee in Martin, Tennessee, and one of their biggest sports is the rodeo. Mm-hmm. So we were able to go out and enjoy the rodeo with them this last year and had a great time. And actually, I have a friend up in Kansas City. We were trying to look at the one that's down in Branson coming up here really soon. Actually, it's next week over Labor Day weekend.
Is it down at Thunder Ridge again?
Thunder Ridge, yeah.
Nice.
And we're going to Florida for a vacation, so we're looking forward to doing some fishing. But we'll definitely have to hit that next year and look at that. So that's good. Now, so tell me about Storehouse Financial Group.
So yeah, Storehouse Financial Group, what we do really is financial planning, but I'm a little bit more specialized in it. At the end of the day, we all do the investment side of things. We do the financial planning, the wealth management, all of that. But I more specialize in the farm, ranch, and ag communities. And, beyond that, the more blue-collar industry. So your construction and stuff like that have similar economics, believe it or not, to farms and ranches. So for me, a lot of it is making sure that farms and ranches stay in the family. They don't have to sell, succession planning, and making sure that we set up the current generation that's farming to be as comfortable as they can be when they go to slow down. The thing is with ag, nobody retires. So typically when you work with somebody earning a W-2 from a town job or something like that, you'll have a retirement date. Farms and ranches, they have slowdown dates, is what I like to call them, when they want to start shifting more of the labor off onto their kids, so on and so forth, and making sure that we can make that transition as comfortable as possible while keeping the operation solvent.
So how is that going now with the way society is now, with the younger generations being so connected on social media and knowing about the outside world away from the farm? Do you see that as a challenge for the farmers passing on their ranches and their farms onto their children, or is it something that children are still sticking around for?
So there's two sides of it. With, the younger generation coming into farming, there's a mindset shift where my dad and my parents' generation, and probably all generations before that, they never planned on retiring. They never planned on giving full control to the kids and all that. They were going to work the land till the day they died. That's what my grandpa did, for example. Where the younger generation now, they are more cognizant of, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this forever, because their parents are broken down and tired by age 65, 70. So there's a large push right now for younger farmers and themselves making this push, going out and setting up these retirement accounts and everything else for them to be able to slow down and pass on the operation. Now, on the other side of that question, when it comes to, whether kids are still taking over the farms and all that, that is something we're running into where there are a lot of families that don't really know if the kids do want to farm. And they don't know if they will have an heir to the operation. And, while ideally you will want to have one or two kids farm, if you have, the average I seem to run into is farm families usually have about 3 kids. Ideally, you'll want a couple of them to farm, but even if they don't, having the pieces in place where when those assets pass on, you don't have to sell the land. You can still keep it in the family and you can rent it out. You can have those options where that land is still working for the family, even if the family's not working it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point, that leasing it out to let other farmers use the land that you have. And for our business, it's always good. They can sell a little bit of that off to a developer and build some houses that we can sell for them too, and they can get a cut of that as well. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's a great future. That's fantastic. So where do you see your business going in the next 5-10 years?
So that's a really good question, and that's a very complicated one because I have to justify that to my wife every night. No, in the next 5 to 10 years, I really want to continue honing down on my operation and building out Storehouse as a brand. So currently, I grew up in the farm and ranch space, so I'm very familiar with it, but I really want to refine my craft there. And with that comes, a couple certifications I'm looking to get. The main one is called the AFFP, Agricultural Focused Financial Planner certification. That's more of a short-term thing, probably knock that out in the next couple of years, but more broadly, just build Storehouse up as a brand that is known to be reliable for this market. Because the other interesting thing I've encountered is, especially in Southwest Missouri, but even as far up as Iowa and Nebraska and everything else, I am essentially the only financial advisor in our 4-state area that is solely focused on farm and ranch succession.
Wow.
Very surprising to me.
Okay, so I see that you're getting a little more active on social media as well. I see you on Facebook. What other social media platforms are you on where our viewers could maybe connect with you?
So I have a presence on LinkedIn, whether I like it or not. And essentially, what I do on social media is I try and make it as informative as possible based on the areas that I work in and current conditions. Beyond that, I also do publish a monthly newsletter that I write entirely myself. And that's another thing that, as far as I know, most advisors aren't able to do because they have to only publish materials handed to them by the firm, but I have the freedom by being independent of being able to publish my own opinions, and here's exactly what I think. And combined with my background in economics, my degree from Missouri State, I'm able to take a slightly different look at it than most financial advisors that may just be, tunnel vision on the finance side of it. But beyond that, I plan on starting a YouTube presence here soon as well. Hopefully have that going by the end of the year, where essentially a lot of my brand, especially with working with younger farmers and young professionals and stuff like that, is just cutting through the noise. There's so much conflicting information out there about anything, especially financial related.
Yeah, it sounds like a market report similar to what we do at Elevate Real Estate Group on YouTube, as well as a market report to let everybody know what's going on in the real estate market with interest rates and keep them abreast of what's going on.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, James, thank you for joining us today. It's great getting to know you a little bit more, hearing about your business. And for our viewers out there, thank you for joining us. If you're looking for help with your financial future and you're in the agricultural industry, reach out to James and he can give you a hand. Also, if you're buying, selling, or looking for some commercial properties, I'd love to be able to help you out with that here at Elevate Real Estate Group. Reach out to me. Again, I'm Mike Kersten with Elevate Real Estate Group. And thank you for joining us and have a great day.